I'm back to another album review. Today's review is on the soundtrack for Moonfall. Before I review the soundtrack, I need to briefly talk about the movie. This is the most recent film by Roland Emmerich, and was one of the most expensive films to be independently funded with a budget of $144 million. When I first saw the trailer, it looked like the most ridiculous thing Emmerich ever directed. The film was a massive flop at the box office, and it doesn't help that it was steamrolled by Jackass Forever, of all things. Moist Critical described it as, quote, the dumbest movie ever made. And he even said that The Day After Tomorrow and 2012 are classics. Charlie even thinks that the movie is so bad that it's good, and I agree. He even called it 2022's best stupid movie. Pointless Hub even described it as, quote, the greatest disaster you never saw. The film was also one of the last projects that Donald Sutherland was ever involved with. Now for the soundtrack. It was composed by Thomas Wander and Harald Kloser, though Thomas was the producer. It was recorded and mastered by Bernd Mazeg at Synchron Stage in Vienna. The Synchron Stage Orchestra is the orchestra that performed. The orchestrators were Thomas Wander and James Brett, though James served as the conductor. The mixing was done by Christopher Frank. The editor was Thomas Schobel. The Pro Tools operator was Martin Weismer. The contractor was Martin Barca. The coordinator was Stefan Steinbauer. The soundtrack was released on February 4th, 2022 on Film Tracks, which is the same day the movie was released. However, the soundtrack was only available digitally at the time, and the physical version didn't come out till July 20th, 2022 on Rambling Records. There is a catch to this because the physical version was only released in Japan. I paid $50 for a copy on Amazon UK, but it was worth it. I don't know if you can see this, but there's Japanese text on the back of the jewel case. And I also got the Obi strip right there. Now let's talk about the songs. Keep in mind that this will contain spoilers from the movie, so watch this review at your own risk. The soundtrack starts with megastructures. The first scene of the movie involves a shuttle mission to repair a satellite. Mysterious space dust from the moon blasts Space Shuttle Endeavour destroys the satellite. Joe Fowler was knocked out, Marcus lost his life, and Brian Harper managed to get back into the shuttle. Next track is Trending. Casey Houseman takes notice of the moon being out of orbit. After that is Rising Tide. The moon is getting closer to Earth, causing tides to rise. Next up is Time to Go. NASA decided to use Space Shuttle Endeavour to send a crew to the moon to use an EMP to kill the nanobots. What's funny is that in the trailer there is graffiti on Endeavour that said, screw the moon. In the actual movie, the graffiti said, fuck the moon. The graffiti was still there even when Endeavour was on the launch pad. Up next is Suit Up. Joe, Brian, and Casey got suited up. An earthquake damaged one of Endeavour's engines, and Joe decided they could just fly without it because the moon was so close that it could simply pull them the rest of the way. We followed up with Made Them Listen. I need to mention that the movie was released on the same day Korn released their album, Requiem. That's followed by Launch. Endeavour was launched, and I personally think that was the best part of the movie. One of the solid rocket boosters shit itself and decided to go for a separation. The external tank was later jettisoned. Now, the crew had help from SpaceX to get Endeavour refueled so they can get closer to the moon. Right after that is Humans. Now, the movie has a lot more destruction than 2012 did. The following track is Into the Moon. The crew boarded the Crew Dragon and flew into the moon, but Endeavour was destroyed. The track that follows is Inside the Moon. The crew flies inside of the moon, revealing it to be a megastructure containing a Dyson sphere housing a white dwarf. Now the track that's next is Siblings. In the real world, the smallest white dwarf is slightly larger than the moon. The track that's after that is White Room. Ryan enters a room where the moon's operating system projects a construct of young Sunny explaining the origins of the moon and humanity. It's hard to take it seriously when the kid version of Sunny has to explain everything. The track that comes after that is The Code of Life. A construct of the adult version of Sunny explains that ancient humans from interstellar space built several moons to try and remake humanity after getting their asses whooped by the AI. Earth's moon was the only one that could be deployed in time. The track that comes next is Join the Fight. The Crew Dragon was repaired and the EMP was upgraded. Apparently the operating system has laser guns that kill some of the nanobots. What's next is Save the Moon. Brian suggests saving the moon in order to save Earth. What's after that is Ludicrous Mode. The Crew Dragon is being pursued by the nanobots. What comes next is Baby Steps. Tom sacrificed himself by giving his oxygen tank to a little girl so she could live. What comes after that is Oxygen. The moon was within the Roche limit and pulled part of Earth's atmosphere towards it. What follows is Casey saves the world. Casey sacrificed himself by using himself as bait for the nanobots. The nanobots engulfed the rover and Casey set off the EMP, killing the nanobots. However, Casey wasn't entirely dead because his consciousness was copied into the moon's database. Next up is a leap of faith. Sonny and one of the people he was with took a leap of faith to get to the tunnel. Up next is Moonfall End Theme. Brian and Joe landed in the Rockies and met up with some of the other survivors. The second to last track is Get Started. KC meets constructs of his mother and his cat, and he suggests that they need to get started tracking down and destroying the rest of the AI. Honestly, I don't think that's going to happen with how much of a flop the movie was. The soundtrack ends with One More Time by Harald Kloser. This is the track that was played during the film's end credits. There's no information available regarding how the soundtrack formed commercially, but I did see that 14 Discogs users have it in their collections. It also has a 4 out of 5 on that site. Now for my thoughts. I think this is a great soundtrack. Although I found Moonfall to be so bad it's good, I would have been interested in seeing how a sequel would play out. Too bad we'll never know because the movie was a flop. At least the special effects and the music were really good. Overall, I recommend checking out the soundtrack. And now's the part where I question you. Have you listened to the soundtrack for Moonfall? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? If you saw the movie, what do you think about it? Now let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify you of future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another review.